Hello all. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Kuldeep, and I am a Business Development Manager with Data Labs India Solutions. To brief you about Data Labs India, we are one of the leading digital transformation companies, and we help organizations achieve excellence in supply chain operations, logistics, strategy execution, and ERP solutions. Today's topic for the webinar is Achieve Transportation Excellence through TMS Implementation, which is presented by Mr. Sheikh Abdul Khader. As we all know, transportation industry is an integral part of our day-to-day life and also contributes immensely to any country's economy. In this webinar, we will be taking you through a variety of concepts in transport management, implementation of TMS and FMS, and much more. Our speaker, Mr. Sheikh Abdul Khader, is the CEO of Data Labs India Solutions. His experience spans close to 3 decades in supply chain management, strategy execution, enterprise performance management, ERP, and business analytics. During his tenure, he has been responsible for achieving supply chain excellence for a number of Fortune 500 companies across the globe. His ability to achieve excellence in supply chain has been widely recognized, and he served as the Vice President Planning for the largest agri-food company in the Middle East. So before we get started with the webinar, if you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question pane. I will bring them up during the Q&A session at the end of the webinar. So without further ado, let us welcome our presenter, Mr. Sheikh Abdul Khader. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Deep. Hope you are able to see me. If you are able to hear me, just please confirm.
Yes, we are able to see you.
Okay, thank you, team. Thank you all for joining the interesting webinar of transportation management, which is very, very important for the economy of the country. So let me share my screen. If you are able to see my screen, then just please let me know. So you are able to see my screen?
Yes, it
is. Okay, thank you all. So let's go ahead with the webinar. What we are talking about. Transportation excellence is very, very important at this point of time in the Indian economy and everywhere else. So we are going to talk about transportation, how this is going to add value to the industry, how these transportation companies are going to excel in the current dynamic market. Okay, how the systems and processes will enable them to achieve competitive advantage. So that's the whole idea. Okay, so thanks for introducing me, Deep. So today what we are going to talk about is, so we just quickly talk about how this industry is growing, how this industry is projected towards the growth, key industry challenges, technology as enabler, okay, and then key processes, key business processes, what transportation parties are doing, okay. So which includes like third-party logistics, freight forwarders, fleet owners, manufacturers, transporters. So what are the kind of business processes they are going through? And then how does that systems help them to automate their processes and then make them better, faster, and cheaper? So that's the whole idea of today's session.
Okay? I'm sorry to interrupt you, sir. So the screen sharing is off actually.
Okay, let me share my screen again. Yeah, please let me know if I am able to see the screen.
Yes, now it is.
Are you able to see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, and in addition to that, the fleet and transportation management systems. So we do need to have some kind of enabling systems which support them to achieve transportation excellence, which includes like a control tower, the global trade management, warehousing, etc., etc. We'll talk during the presentation little more details. Okay, so let us talk how this transportation industry is growing. This transportation industry is around 1,600 billion dollars across the globe. It is covering around 1,000 billion kilometers annually across the globe. Major contributors include, of course, the European Union, US, and Asia, and of course, it's going across the globe now. Even the developing countries like Africa and all, they are also investing very heavily and growing transportation segment very fast rate. Okay, and transportation is very important part of any GDP. So that's how every government in across the world are trying to promote the best practices for the transportation and enable them to achieve excellence in their operations. Okay, so if you see this, so if you have different transportation segments, so logistics and trucking is really a 35% of the overall market. Then shipping is around 17%, air is around 14%. And the rest is the miscellaneous, other things like rail and other ground kind of transportation. So it's a very, very heavy industry with a very high potential of the business growth across the globe. Okay, so if you see why this industry is growing, there are many reasons why this industry is growing. One is like e-commerce. E-commerce is really booming up. So the transportation industry is taking a different shape. Okay, logistics part. So in the logistics, it's a different kind of logistics is taking place. It's a reverse logistics. It could be there could be many opportunities in the logistics. The global trade is growing faster. Regulations. Each country is doing some kind of relaxation in the regulations, cross-border regulations, and also internal, making it more business-friendly environment. Improve technology. Of course, this is the single most important part for our discussion today. The technology is enabled, which includes global positioning system, tracking and tracing. You can call it any. There are many. We will see. And of course, the population is growing, and then the population, since the population is growing, and also the economy is growing. So that is the reason that the need for the transportation is increasing. There is no doubt about that. Okay, so there are typical challenges for this industry. We have business challenges and also process and systems. Business challenges includes the cost. You need to reduce the cost as much as possible because of competition. Okay, it should be more dynamic. The dynamic should be the transporters and the transportation parties should be very dynamic to take care of any kind of last minute changes. Okay, on time delivery, there is no compromise by customers that you promise it and you deliver it. Okay, and then you have to align not only with the transportation, with the warehousing, manufacturing, and the government bodies. Okay, so you need to get alignment. So this is the business challenges what we have. Now, when it comes to the technology and business process, okay, so many organizations, actually this transportation industry is not very well organized. Only like 10 to 15% is organized business. All others are not organized. Okay, so you need to upgrade to the latest technology. That is one important point. The traditional processes you may no longer use it, the traditional process, because the technology is changing, enabling you to do things much simpler and faster, better. Okay, so if you have inefficient systems, it's very difficult for you to grow. Okay, this is one of the key business challenges in the industry growth. Okay, so now if you talk about technology, so there are a lot of technology enablers now we are looking for. So if you see in the screen, there are multiple technologies. They're enabling you to achieve transportation excellence. Okay, so IoT is something called Internet of Things. So you can connect to the sensors, any kind of instruments, you can connect it, and then it will help you to automate. So many processes, and then you can get the signals kind of thing. For example, if you have a very nice camera, multiple cameras at the signal, so it will help you to know what is going to happen in the next signal or whatever. So there are many applications of IoT. Okay, so augmented reality, so you can visualize instead of viewing them in the real time, you can visualize. Okay, artificial intelligence based on the data. Now every transportation vehicle and every driver, okay, everybody who is traveling along with that truck, so they are somehow they're connected. Either it could be a mobile app, it could be a SIM card, or it could be a GPS, whatever. No, that enables that even the transport vehicles itself, they give a lot of data to understand what to do. Okay, so this artificial intelligence and machine learning models will enable you to form a lot of models where it will help you to understand what to do. So there are many AI and ML applications which I will show you in the next slide. Okay, blockchain technology. So now if you have multiple parties, the document security, the transaction security is a key concern. That is the reason we almost always depend on the paper, because the paper you need to take a signature and then you need to give it to the signed copy to somebody else. Now this will become a very irrelevant as you go on, because this blockchain technology will remove all this paperwork, because you can sign or approve online. Okay, and then that data is very safe through the blockchain technology. Of course, there are UAVs and drones which are really helping even in the transportation part. So that there will be a lot of applications. And then we have now the transportation management has like transportation management, fleet management, the global positioning system. There are the combination of systems which we can call them together as a transport management systems. So now, among all of them, the transportation management system is becoming a primary enabler. Okay, so now it's not a luxury anymore for any transporter. It's not a luxury. So those who are not going for transportation or fleet management systems now, they will be lagging behind in the market. Okay, as you go on, definitely they will be taking up. Okay. So now I just put a list of applications in the for artificial intelligence and IoT that I will not be talking too much about it. Just I will give you a quick example. For the artificial intelligence, you can have a driver safety. You can predict delays, what is going to happen. Fleet integration. So you can integrate with all your fleet operations, like the tires, the maintenance, the odometers, everything can be integrated to get you a proper recommendation from the system, so that when to do a maintenance, when to have when to take care of your regulations kind of thing. All these things can be taken care through AI applications. In the IoT, you have like a smart road sensor. So in nowadays, it is becoming very popular that at the key traffic points, you have multiple smart road sensors. It will tell you what to do, what is happening in the highway kind of thing. Okay, so video surveillance, you can convert the video surveillance into digital and then get a notifications. So there are many things which I have listed here. So vehicle speed, drive, idle time, all these things can be collected immediately along on on-time basis, and then you take a decision immediately. Even the decision also can be taken through artificial intelligence models based on your inputs. Okay, so if you take about transportation technology, so the technology includes like applications. I see in the left column, if you are able to see the transportation management system, fleet management, global trade, global positioning system, control towers, enterprise resource planning, the warehousing. So these are all different applications. Of course, there are many. I listed only very pop. So the key benefits for the transportation management systems includes you will be having a optimized shipment planning and execution. Your rates will be optimized for different scenarios. You will be managing the fleets, shipments, invoices, and expenses properly, automatically. Project, transport, and fleet owners. So the system will support all kind of transportation parties, which includes the third-party logistics, freight forwarders, kind of thing. Tracking and tracing to avoid the surprises and improve security. Transportation intelligence for performance management. So you will be finding the updated information online immediately, that will help you to take quick decisions and faster. So you don't have to wait for maybe multiple days what is going on, because the truck is connected to the digital world and you can manage it online. Efficient, effective use of resource utilization. So basically in the transportation industry or any other industry, the resource utilization is very important because it's very expensive, the capital intensive market. So it's a resource utilization is one of the key area. Profitability, of course, you will increase the profitability because of that. If you are using a fleet management, there, especially if you have your own fleet, multiple fleets, and you are also managing your own fleet and also the hired fleet or licensed lease fleets. So you will have more requirement to use transportation and fleet management systems. So the track and trace, so you can find out what is going on, the security part, efficiency you can increase. Okay, so resource utilization will increase, and then definitely it will be a profitability. Okay, so statutory requirements, if you have like a multiple fleet, what happens is the statutory requirement. So there are multiple statutory requirements like license renewals. There could be multiple things, permits, and all those things can be automatically given a notification so that you can maintain them very easily. Okay, so now I will talk about quickly about the transportation parties involved. Okay, there are, in the transportation is a very open topic. So there are multiple parties involved in this. So who are they? So it could be the project-based or manufacturing company. That means these people usually they hire transporters to do their job, to either receive the shipments or provide the shipments, deliver the shipments. Now they want this to be smooth, okay, as smooth as possible, and it should be as transparent as possible, and also you want this to be as efficient as possible. So fleet owners, if you have multiple fleets, fleet management companies are kind of things. Okay, so they have different challenges, they have different processes, because maintaining their fleets to the optimum level is one of the key challenge for them. Okay, the transporter may have his own fleet or may not have his own, or he may operating with the connections he has, with all the contracts he has. Okay, okay, so the third party logistics, of course, now you are talking about third party and fourth party logistics operators, so they have different processes. Okay, if you are a broker or agent, you have different processes. Now the question is, how does the system, any system will fit into all of them needs? So that's very simple, because majorly they do the same kind of processes with a little difference here and there. So now we quickly look at what is going on with these kind of things. So if you are able to see my screen, so we are talking about project shipments. Let us say there is a project and they need a transportation requirements. Okay, it could be any kind of projects. Okay, now how does that take place? This is a flow. I will not talk about the flow. You all know about the flow. So for the transportation management system point of view, for the project shipments, there are two key things required, which is they need a best price, and the price they will be agreeing with all the vendors. Okay, so they will be agreeing with the vendors. Now they need to get the best price automatically. They don't want to manipulate anything. They don't want to give anybody chance that to select the transporter themselves. So there is a big chance that there is a mismanagement can happen here. So the price should come automatically, and also it should come in a secured way. So the system should be able to support you to select a particular transporter. Okay, now when you select it, you should be able to do the perform that. You need to ask their permission to confirm. If they are not confirming, then it will select automatically the next transportation party. And all this will happen immediately online. Okay, now these two are the key important things. All other things more or less same. So now in the shipment execution part, so you need to have timestamps from the transport, the truck leave the for the loading, and then until the proof of and you deliver it, and then proof of delivery will take place. So everything should be digitized so that you don't have to worry about it. There is no loss of paper or something, and driver is not going to do anything handling of papers or whatever. So everything will be done in a properly. So these, if the project shipment or the manufacturing, this is the process flow. If we are a fleet owner, it's completely different. So for fleet owner, the most important is how to allocate fleet for the transportation for a particular transport order. Okay, that's a key challenge for him. Okay, and also he should make sure that all the statutory needs should be taken care through automatically. A very advanced notification should be given, and the document should be available for everyone. Okay, whenever they want to download any document, they should be available, and they should not, even if somebody forget, just log in and just download it. Okay, resource management, like how you allocate drivers, co-drivers, the maintenance, all these things will come into picture in the fleet owner kind of business. The rest of the things more or less same. So sometimes you have owner and driver. This is a very simple kind of thing. There are many like that. Okay, for them, how to do the accountability is a challenge. Accounting. So how to make sure of their accounting part, the profitability, overall process. So now everything is, payments are made online, and then everything is done. Payments are made online and everything. So they need to have an accountability, accounting part online, so that they will get their profitability immediately without any problem. Okay, and they don't need to write any document, any paperwork kind of thing. Everything can be done into the system. If you have a transporter, okay, transporter, if the transporter has his own fleet and the lease flight and from the market, so it looks same for all kind of transport trucks, but it is not. Basically, the terms of payment is very important. Okay, if you have your own fleet, you don't worry about the terms of payment. If you are taking from market, terms of payment play a major role. That's the reason what they do is they prefer their own vehicles to go further, and then they go for the long lease vehicles, and then they go to the market. So how does that happens? That's very important. Okay. So the freight forwarder is something different. If you have a freight forwarder, you have a transportation requirement, but it is something different because you are talking about imports or exports. So global trade management system is very important. The input of transport orders are coming from global trade management system. So your transportation management system should have integration with the global trade management, so that you don't have to enter the data automatically, enter the data manually. It should come automatically. So global trade management integration is very crucial for the freight forwarder. Of course, the steps involved in the transportation process should be more or less same. There could be small process changes here and there, but there are more or less, they are taken care through a standard transportation management kind of system. Okay. So for the 3PL operators, there are different challenges. I will not go detail into that. For the agent, okay, so how you accept the multiple indents, that's a very, very, very big challenge. So he will not take the challenge. Okay, so because he don't have vehicles with him readily available, so he will have to take the accept the indents, find the market, and then allocate it, and he give a more priority for the commission. So the more he get the commission, he will give the priority, and of course there are long-term customers. So these are the key processes for the transportation agents. Okay, so I think if you have any questions until then, just please post them into your question box. The Deep will consolidate them, and then we will discuss. So now at this point of time, we'll be talking about system. So we have two systems basically. One is the transportation management system and fleet management system. So now if you see in the screen, so there are multiple processes within the transportation management. It's not so simple. Okay, manually we do the manual processes. Yeah, there are some key processes which we do. Some other processes which takes a lot of time, and time is getting wasted. So resource utilization is reduced because of manual process or inefficient system. Okay, if I look at it, okay, I'll just quickly take you. Transport order management is there. Okay, so you need to create an order for transport, then you need to manage it. You need to plan the transport order. Okay, the shipment execution. So the moment you deliver the product you deliver the truck to go to for loading to unloading, settle the shipments completely. During this process, you can do some fleet management also. Okay, so container management, the claims, if there is any accident or something, anything you need to get ready for that. All the documents should be ready. And the itinerary. Itinerary is for if you are going journey from one place to another place, you need to have itinerary. And of course, all these things should be integrated with your e-way bill, your FASTag stations, and also your petrol cards. So this is a complexity of overall transport management system. Now, if you do all, what happens? So you do something like this on your dashboard, you get like a total orders immediately. What is happening? Dynamic. This will be updated completely. Like total shipments, what is going on? How many are open? How many closed? What are the total? How many tenders are taking place? Okay. Shipment by supplier. So you can select which supplier. This is giving a sample dashboard which can be screened on your screen, and you don't have to ask anybody. Everything can be screened from here. Okay. So open shipments by priority. So you can prioritize them. Okay. And then you also can track and trace your vehicles. So this is the beauty of your any good transportation management system. And of course, there is something called shipment scheduling. You can schedule shipments. Now, changing the shipment schedules is always a challenge. Okay. Now, in this screen, you have a drag and drop. So you just move here and there, and then you fix up your transportation schedule. All the resource planning will be done automatically based on this. Okay. So this is just very simple idea how you see the transport management system benefits. Okay. So I'm just giving an example. This is not really this is to give you an idea how does a classical standard transportation management system should be able to help you. Okay. So there could be, now if you just quickly just scan through all these, if you find any questions, please just post it into the question box. The transport management, because basically you will have the transport order from your classical, from your customer is giving you a transport order, so kind of thing. So you need to have, if you have multiple plans, shipments, you need to have a transport planning and tendering process. Tendering I'm using here to just finalize the price. If you have multiple parties, transporters already lined up with you, so the best price, based on the constraints, it will be selected, and then you agree with him. Okay, immediately he will be notified by the WhatsApp or something, for telephone or WhatsApp or email or something. Then he can approve it from there. Then the transport take place. The transport execution take place. Now here you need to register all the timestamps. That is very important. All the timestamps can be recorded, registered through your mobile app. You will just say loading start, unloading, loading complete, unloading start, unloading complete. Okay. So all these things, if you do, system keep on capturing all the data, so that you can get consolidated shipment execution, proof of delivery. Take a snap and then upload it. If you are refueling, just take a refuel and just take a snap, upload it. So all these things can be directly done because you don't have to worry about it. So the driver has a very limited chance that he do any mistake. Okay, and you can control on the same time whatever he is doing in his mobile. That can be done. That can be seen by operations manager in the office, transportation office. Okay, settle the shipment. So you do invoice settlement and commission settlement. If you have fleet, you can do the fleet management part. Containers, so you can track and trace containers and optimization. We will talk about containers some other day. Claims, if there is any accident kind of thing, immediately you can claim it from there itself. All the documents are available on the site and in the application. Okay, you manage the itineraries. Okay, so integrations, I'll just skip some of them. So you can have integration with your GPS machine sensors, the fuel. So sometimes the fuel is a big problem. So you need to have a fuel sensor so that you know exactly what is happening with the fuel sensor. So at any time. So you have a classical mobile applications where you can do everything through the mobile application. Now the mobile application is not a luxury anymore. All that, even the drivers can have it. You can give it to your driver, a small Android phone, so that can be used to do all the things. Okay. Of course, you need to have the integration with your e-way bills, toll free. FASTag kind of thing, petrol cards and other things. Okay. Now this is related to the transportation management. Transportation management basically for manufacturers, project guys, the trader, the brokers and agents kind of thing. Now, if you have a own fleet, the challenge comes in different, because you need to have a fleet management, you need to have the maintenance management, statutory. There are many other things comes into picture. Okay, so if you see here, so load management, the trip management, vehicle management. Okay, so driver and co-driver management, fuel management, maintenance. Okay, insurance and claims. So vendor management. So if you have own vehicles and also you take the from the pool, from the contracts to increase your fleet numbers. So you need to manage your vendors. Of course, accounting, finance, your billing part should be done automatically. And then you need to have an integration with all the facilities, what you need to have. Okay. So I'll just quickly pass through the fleet management. The fleet management processes, again here, the dashboard is most important. You need to know the data immediately the moment it happens. How does it? You don't have to ask for it. You don't you have to fill the Excel sheets and get it. That Excel sheet, if anything goes wrong, so there could be a wrong thing. And if this should be available for everybody, okay, if the managers, the owners, the parties, everybody. So what is the load for today? So what is happening today? So what are the trips? What are the vehicles? This is every manager wants to know on the tip of his he should get this in the tip of his fingers, the information, the drivers, what is happening. All these dashboards can be updated online and you will find them very easily. And you need to know about your assets, like your vehicles, vehicle types, you have assigned or not assigned, what is your statutory position truck wise. So vehicle under, what are the trucks under maintenance, what is going on with them. So all these things will be done through the dashboards. Okay, so you have load management. Again, this is the steps involved in your any classical fleet management companies. You need to manage your load. You need to create load, drop it. This load can be from customer, from it can be coming from another system also. If you are a party serving somebody, okay, that also you get a load information from any other system. You load it. So there should be a system to manage your loads properly. You need to make all your loads, either it is a full truck load or less than truck load, consolidate them, and then you manage the multiple trips. Now these trips, okay, you need to give an advance to the drivers. Okay, the proof of deliveries. You need to maintain the trip sheet basically. Now, how does it happen? Because if it is a complex journey, so you need to really manage all of them together. Okay, so the trip management is very important. Of course, vehicle management. So you need to have all the data related to the vehicle and the system, so that you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so driver and co-driver management. It's a cleaner, whatever you call it. Okay, in India we call them as a cleaner, but it's a co-driver. So you need to completely have the information. There is nothing goes wrong. Okay, in case of accidents or something, everything will be visible. The fuel management, you can put the fuel sensors, you get all the data, what is happening, and this will be connected to the big data and kind of thing, then you consolidated data can be taken to your system and then maintain it. So all your fuel analytics can be managed through system. And vehicle maintenance. Now this happens is you have a depots here and there. So how do you send your vehicles to the depots? If you are a large transport company with multiple locations, so you will have some depots located near to your business centers. Okay, so how to do them? What happens if the vehicle goes to another place and where there you want the vehicle to be maintained there? So all these things can be done through system. Okay, so you can have insurance and claims properly. You can manage all your vendors, quotations, contracts with them, all those things. And then of course the finance management part. So in the finance management part, so you will have an accounting related activities. All your accounting related activities can be taken through. All the payments given to advance, given to the drivers, advance given to the vendors, kind of thing. So all these things, everything can be recorded automatically as and when required, and then this can be consolidated, and then finally you will get the profitability for each trip, for each truck, for each period. So, and then you need to have multiple options for billing. Okay, so sometimes you have a leased vehicle, long-term lease, you have by kilometers, by volume, whatever. So there are multiple billing options you have. So you can have it. So you can find the reporting process, and then if there is anything you need to do the debit notes and credit notes, that also can be done. Okay, of course, in the integration part. So here again, it's the most important. This transportation management or fleet management cannot work separate alone. It needs to be integrated with the systems. Okay, how does it look like? Is you need to, if you are not a standalone company, you are a part of a whole ecosystem. So somebody may be giving an order automatically to you. So if they can give an order directly, you can directly import it. If it is an e-commerce site, you can directly take it from e-commerce. Okay, so it can be from a warehouse management system. It could be global trade management. It could be from the ERP. So anything possible that you can take the data, or you can give it to them. So all these things, integration is the very key. Otherwise, the standalone transport management system may be good to start with, but it will not going to run for maybe next 5 to 10 years, because all the systems are going to get integrated anyways. Okay, so of course, the moment you enter the data, if you want to create an e-way bill, directly e-way bill portal should be get access. So you don't have to fill it separately, because the data is already in your system. Okay, now since the data is there, you just generate e-way bill. The data will go to the e-way bill, and then you will get the e-way bill automatically. Okay, so if your FASTag, your tolls you're taking up, all the data can be collected and then inserted into the system based on the FASTag code and vehicle attached. So it will be easy for the accounting part. Okay, and then of course the payments, if you want to do, you also can attach to the payment gateways. So okay, so I think this is now you may be thinking, okay, now this is so all these features, it's very difficult to do it. Okay, how many people we need it? So we don't have capability. Our people are laymen. How can they do this? This is a typical question any transporters or any manufacturers will get. So for that, what we have done is we have created something called operator UI. It's a quick. You will get in one screen everything. Okay, so in one screen, you create a purchase orders, you create loads, you print invoice, everything in one screen. At the same time, in the one screen, you can also look for the alerts, the key alerts, what you are getting. So this way, you don't have to have a multiple headaches, okay, or multiple screens where you don't have too much expertise required for the user. So this can be put into a nice pad, okay, and then you can put it into the office. So anybody going through that, so any driver or something, and just quickly he can use it, print any document from his side, and then he can go. So you don't have to really do everything. It's like a self-service kind of thing. So there are operator user interface. So for the driver, there is a separate one. And then for operator, there is a operations manager, there is a separate one. And then for maintenance, there is a separate one. Okay. So in one screen, you will get everything. Okay. Of course, if you want more details, more options, all the screens are available. But to make it more easier, to do your 80 to 90% of your job simpler, it's only one screen. Okay. All these things can be done. Now, on top of it, so there could be, you need to have a good key performance indicators. So most of the transporters do go by intuition kind of thing. So they don't have performance management the mindset especially in India. Okay, so all these things you need to have a proper KPIs that can be reported automatically for you. Okay, so that will help you to really manage your business. So instead of daily following up with everybody that I'm getting a loss or something, okay, so you can really see the KPI and be happy with that. If the performance is going on, just give them an incentives kind of thing. Manage it properly. Your billing accuracy can be one of the KPI. Okay, Capacity utilization could be one of the KPIs. So there I put some KPIs here for your information. We can share some information for the participants. Okay. And transportation management systems KPIs. So this system can replace some irrelevant things for you. You may be thinking this is expensive. If you don't invest in the transportation management system or a fleet management system or a global trade management system, eventually what happens is you lost the investment in the inefficiency. Because if there is one truck got delayed and you have a headache in that, so all the cost saving you want to do with the transportation management system, so it's already lost. So you will be spending anyways, okay, without the system. Okay, so those inefficiencies will be controlled to a larger extent, and also it will be your support for growing. If you want to grow, you can grow horizontally, and you can also even acquire multiple companies and do whatever you want to do very easily. Okay, I think this is the part where I wanted to speak about you about the transport management system, the fleet management system. If you have any queries, just post it. Now, what I'm going to do for next, maybe I have how much time I have? Next 5 minutes. I will be talking about other enabling systems which you need to really know how this will help you. Okay, and then we can take up your questions and discuss. Okay, so what are the enabling systems? We always talk about supply chain control tower, the enterprise resource planning, warehouse management, global trade, and global positioning system. Of course, GPS knows everybody. MES, manufacturing execution. So this has some information for your kind attention. Control tower means control tower is not only tracking and tracing. Okay, usually what happens is the control tower goes with only for the tracking and tracing. So it's a complete visibility. So you will have a visible, and also you can take an action against that. So you need to get the notification alerts. If there is any delay in truck with a threshold, you should be able to get notification. Okay, and you can collaborate also. You can just send the message directly and take corrective actions. And of course, you have the data. Once you have a larger amount of data, okay, so you can do you can expect that artificial intelligence model to step in, and also it will advise you what to do. What is the system recommended action you're looking for? You can manage your you can do your capacity planning, because I will give an example that if you have a shipment receipts tomorrow, so what is you can do capacity planning. If you're a warehousing and transport companies, you can know how many people required, how many forklifts required to do the unloading for tomorrow. Maybe there is a lighter load, your resources can be moved to some other place. Okay, so these things can be done, and of course, the performance management. You can continuously get alerts, and you can manage your systems proactively. This is supply chain control tower. This is applicable for both transporters, warehousing, manufacturing companies. Okay, I'll talk quickly about global trade. In the global trade management, there are 4 components. One is the trade functions like purchasing and sales. Trade compliance is the most important part, where you talk about all the screenings, the party screening, product screening, license, trade transaction. So how does it take place from the customer to supplier, which includes all the parties, the freight forwarder, the government agencies, the transporter, everybody. Okay, trade logistics, we are talking about more or less like a transport management system. The trade finance, it could be payments like a bill of lading kind of thing. Okay, so it could be more or less the international trade finance. Okay, so there are multiple steps involved in the global trade management. So you need to really have global trade management in case if you are exporting or importing. So I'm talking about more or less like the compliance part. So there are multiple things in compliance to manage the compliance part. One of the most important is when you are doing any transport, international export or import, the party screening is one of the crucial things. Each country will have their own list of parties blocked. Okay, so that can be directly connected to their web portal, and you can take it, and then you can maintain their list in your system. Licenses, you can always check your licenses, your party licenses. Okay, and you can do the trade transaction right from the beginning to end. All these can be done. Okay, Next, I will talk about quickly about the ERP. Of course, you must almost all of you must be aware of enterprise resource planning. It will basically for accounting part. So it will take care of all your procurement, sales kind of activities, accounting part. So there are a lot of modules in the ERP which you can do it. Okay. Global positioning system. Yeah, it looks very simple. Nowadays, each transport vehicle comes the global position system through itself, but largely they don't use it. So you can have a mobile-based global positioning system, or you can have device-based global positioning system. We have our own global positioning system. You can take it. If anybody is using fleet or transport, you'll get it for free. Okay. So this you can have a track and trace, integrate with data. You can monitor fuels, stops monitoring, safety. All the things can be taken up. Okay. So I think with this, I conclude the webinar. And then before closing, before taking up questions, I would like to say that so we have complete suite, whatever we hear so far. So we have a complete suite of solutions. So it's a logistics solutions, transport, fleet, global trade management system, warehousing, manufacturing, and asset management systems, the enterprise resource planning systems, and of course, there is something called strategy. Okay, so we enable you to have world-class business operations through our solutions. Okay, so it's a Data Labs India. It's a complete solution stack. I think Deep and other participants, thank you very much for hearing me, and sorry for the interruption in the middle. Okay, so I would be very happy to take up some questions and answers for you. Okay. Okay, so just let me. Okay, so I would like to make our. Yeah, I made you host Khalid. You can just proceed. If anybody wants to talk, also please, no problem. You can.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Mr. Khader. And we are now going to begin the question and answer session. So as a reminder, you can submit your questions through the questions pane, or you can also raise a hand through the reactions menu on the bottom of your Zoom screen. So if you have any questions, please go ahead. Okay, so we have a question from Mr. Zubair Sheikh. And the question is, so is there a way to control fuel theft and sudden decrease in fuel levels of a vehicle? And if so, how?
So basically what happens is you have a fuel sensors. Okay, so if you put a fuel sensors in your vehicle, so this can be connected to your fleet management system. Okay, so automatically your fuel level will be continuously transmitted, and then we can put an alarm kind of thing where if the fuel is suddenly decreased from particular number, okay, so that can be, you can get a notification immediately. So you can manage it through like that. So this is the combination of your global positioning system, or it could be your directly a fleet management system. We have multiple options for that. So that is very much there. Yeah.
Okay, I think that that answers the question. And we have another question from Ms. Tejashwini. And the question is, so how do we analyze the profitability considering the expenses that we incur for TMS management?
Yeah, profitability calculation is one of the most important question in every transporter or any fleet owner kind of thing. So there will be a continuous data capturing for all the revenues and also expenses by truck. Okay, only overheads will be not added to that. If you want to add, that also can be added. Gross profit, definitely you can get it online. Okay, the moment you complete your trip, you know what are the expenses you made it, what is the fuel you consumed, so how many what is your driver wage, okay, how much you are spending on the road. All the things can be directly connected, and then you can get a profitability for each trip. Yeah, that this can be consolidated by a week, by month, or whatever, and then you can get the data immediately. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Mr. Shivanandan has a question. Khalid, if you could unmute. Yeah, Mr. Shivanandan, please go ahead.
Yeah, are you able to hear? I'm not able to hear.
No, actually, I think Mr. Shivanandan, can you unmute yourself? We have given you the permission to unmute if you have any question.
I think the mic is not muted. Unmute.
Okay, so if you have any difficulty unmuting yourself, you can also type in the question if you have any.
Yeah, you can call also. Just
Yeah, you can.
Share the telephone number or something.
All right. So I think, we have no more questions coming in. So we would like to close the session for today. And I would like to thank everyone, and we appreciate your time for being here with us. And if you'd like to know more about us and our solutions, you can visit our website at datalabsindia.com, or you can reach out to us on any of the numbers mentioned on the website. And please be informed that you will receive an email within 24 to 48 hours with the link to view a recording of today's webinar. So, Mr. Sheikh Abdul Khader, thank you so much. And sir, if you would like to say anything.
I think that's a fantastic session. So feel free to reach us. If you want to reach me, just I think I just share the screen again. So if you're able to see the screen, so this is our contact details. Okay. Deep, you are able to see the screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this is, I think maybe you can take a screenshot of this or keep it with you.
Okay.
And if you want to reach me, you are most welcome. You have my email, my telephone number there. And then all our branches, partners, you'll find the contact details here. So we are present in India, in Hyderabad, in Bangalore, and also we have a present in UAE. Okay, so please feel free to reach us. We'll guide you to achieve your transportation excellence in whatever way. Okay.
All
That's
right.
fantastic.
All right. On behalf of Data Labs India and our presenter, thank you once again for joining us today, and have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you very much.